Right. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us a bit early. We'll start really soon as per our designated time in another 4 minutes. Thank you for joining in. Right, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll start really shortly. Just give us a minute or two, and then we'll probably get things started for you. Yeah. Thank you. Right, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll just get things started for you. Just give me a minute as I bring up my presentation. Sorry, yeah. I hope I'll just bring up my screen. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Right. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for taking out time to join this webinar. It's a very short webinar. We kept it very succinct. So we'll just get things started. Thank you for joining this webinar on how to avoid 3 crore S2P mistake. And we'll asking. I mean, basically, we'll try to ask and answer those 5 critical questions that every CFO, finance folks must ask before investing in a particular S2P platform. I've been joined by our CEO, Srividya, who's the speaker of the webinar. She comes with she's of course founder and CEO of Avali. She comes with about 30 plus years of experience in leadership roles, working for organizations like Oracle, SAP, Wipro, so on and so forth, right? And yeah, her domain expertise includes finance, sales, innovation, so on and so forth, right? Before kind of handing over to her, I'll just quickly walk you through some of the housekeeping guidelines. All lines are muted for clarity purpose, but should you have any questions during the course of the webinar, please feel free to use the chat section or the question answer Q&A section and drop in your comments, drop in your observations. And we have reserved 10 minutes of the total 30 minutes of the webinar for answering your questions, right? And as I said, you can submit your comments and questions in the chat or the Q&A section. Now, anybody who stays, actually, of course, everybody will be staying, but for those who stay till the end, there's exclusive takeaways. We'll share a very succinct webinar summary report for you so that you don't have to go through all of these, presentations, which probably will lie and you won't ever see it. So very succinct, articulate webinar summary report of what will be covered today, key insights from the speakers, so on and so forth. We'll offer free half-day consulting sessions. So, do leverage that, do take full kind of advantage of that. And exclusive AP white paper. This is a survey that we ran for about all of our customers. So about 35 plus large enterprises have kind of responded, and this will give you an understanding of the benchmark findings are in accounts payable, right? So all of these are key takeaways for those who stay right till the end, right? Having said that, without any ado, I'll hand over the stage to Srividya. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible, loud and clear. I
Yes,
assume
Shweta.
so. Okay, awesome. Thank you, everyone, and pleasure to be here on this call. I'm looking forward to personally interacting with each one of you. Maybe post this discussion, would be happy to schedule one-to-one meetings. Today, we are going to discuss a very important topic that is really critical for a CFO and procurement leader. With respect to your sourcing and P2P decision with respect to technology automation, it's no secret, right? All of us know that implementing a source-to-pay solution is going to require significant investment. But really, how does one get the ROI? I'm sure all of us create business cases and we present in terms of even seeking budget for this investment or otherwise, even as we're looking to invest. But today I'll walk you through some very important 5 critical questions that every CFO, every IT leader, every CPO must really ask before investing in a source to pay platform. Let's just dive in right away. So moving forward to the next slide, Abhinav, I'll just have to keep prodding you for the next slide. Toggling, please help me on.
Yeah.
Let's step back a bit and just examine this for a minute. Why do organizations gravitate, towards big brands? Typically, we've seen that, it often stems probably from a safe choice kind of a mentality. We've all heard the phrase, is commonly known, nobody gets fired for buying from an IBM. I mean, it's just, replace IBM with any big brand. It's a safe choice mentality. But the question is really, does this decision guarantee ROI? And here, when we examine on an average week, we speak to about 80 plus large enterprises between us. And these are spread across multiple geographies, several of which are from India, the Middle East, parts of Europe. There is one common theme, when we speak to companies about their either the investments they have made or in their current roles or have made in their previous roles. Many organizations are typically finding themselves bogged down with very high cost. So on an average, an investment, in USD terms is roughly about $500,000, 400K to about $500,000 in such investments. There is ongoing customization cost, the implementation cost, year-on-year license cost. And yet there is a lot of struggle in adoption. We find that enterprises are just adopting, about 15% of the suppliers are typically onboarded even after 1 year of implementation. We've seen companies really struggle with respect to supplier adoption. The trainings, the ongoing pushing for supplier adoption. It's ironical that we invest in the solution, enterprises invest in the solution for your suppliers, for providing them superior experiences, for having a single source of truth. But typically onboarding is so much of a challenge that, one really starts questioning for what did we do this in the first place besides, internal compliance requirements or internal visibility, governance, etc. There's also this aspect of supplier engagement which somewhere gets, there's a lot of trade-off. There's again significant customization that typically means that for local compliance related requirements, there's a lot of customizations that is built in, and there are associated costs of that as well. Moving forward, yeah, can you just move forward, please, Abhinav? Or maybe I can just bring it up. Abhinav, are you there? Yeah. So there's a lot of post-purchase regret. Okay, so there's a lot of post-purchase challenges, and here is where things get really tough. Even after implementing a global S2P solutions, we see that 85% of CPOs report buyers' remorse. There is a lot of post-purchase regret. There are research reports to prove. There's one such report that we have cited here from CPO Strategy. But the leading obstacle, like we've discussed, is supplier adoption. And there is a lot of challenge. There is a lot of post-purchase regret. So why is this regret? The top obstacle in ROI realization is typically lack of supplier adoption. Again, there is a lot of compliance-related requirements. Source to pay has got a lot of intricate involvement with local government regulations, e-invoicing. Almost every country is coming out with its own e-invoicing requirements, and these regulations keep on changing. If you take India, as a location, we have seen e-invoicing, then we saw this whole IRN-based invoices, again, basis the revenue size, these numbers have kept changing. The government has continuously given guidelines, and they came IMS. Now within IMS, they have come out with another guideline that, that you need to accept that invoice within 30 days in the IMS portal, otherwise it's deemed accepted. And likewise, different countries have come up with their own e-invoicing requirements. And compliance becomes really mandatory that, there's no point in doing this. If you have a tool, then you would rather have the solution do this in a completely automated manner, relevant for the local compliance requirements. And unfortunately, when we speak about, global cloud-based software solutions, these are typically meant for global markets. All of them have excellent features and functionalities, but there are some areas which are, which really become bottleneck. And namely, one such problem is this whole compliance requirement. They are not fine-tuned for the local markets, which requires, again, customization and builds. And that in turn leads to increased cost, because there is cost of customization, there is cost of maintenance of that. And when it comes to upgrade, it becomes all the more complex. So that cost, about the ongoing maintenance cost, which one signs up year on year, and the struggles that one goes through with that, I'm sure for the people on this call who have actually gone through that cycle, you would probably resonate with it. Otherwise, this is a cost worthwhile speaking about, because this is typically a shadowed cost, but it leads to a lot of problems. Okay, moving forward. Okay, can you just go to the next slide, please?
So there's a lag.
What is the reality, therefore? Yeah. Okay, so what's the reality, therefore? If we just analyze the reality, so there's a great logo, we have implemented a good a source to pay solution. So what is the actual reality? We sign up for extremely high investments. The cost of these solutions are extremely high. The UI UX actually kills supplier adoption. It's very complex to adopt for suppliers. It's very hard for a non-tech savvy supplier to actually make sense out of this. And we've seen, customers actually state that they need to undergo significant and continuous supplier trainings, have continuous messaging to suppliers, and get them onboarded. And UI UX is one major thing that's actually it becomes a huge bottleneck. Is there local compliance out of the box with respect to all of these, not, GST, VAT, e-invoicing, compliances which are not native? What about workarounds that we need to build to fix that, for what we have already paid for, and the cost relating to those workarounds? After 2 years, ROI is still work in progress. And break even has still not been achieved. 85% of companies are saying that they are losing money to integration issues relating to their supply chains. This is another research report. We're happy to share these research documents, which are also publicly available, but there are a lot of integration challenges and therefore the ongoing cost relating to those integrations. So it's really time to reconsider, therefore, this kind of a standard approach. Okay, so let's move forward. So what is the 3 crore mistake, that we want to prevent you from making? Or what's 400K, 500,000 mistake that we want to prevent you from making? Imagine investing in a platform only to find that your suppliers aren't adopting it. Your teams are relying on Excel spreadsheets. Compliance risk is still persisting. Accounts payable cycle time hasn't improved. Worse still, your cost still remains the same. So cost per invoice, your cost of running that cycle still remains far higher. That sounds, then a proactive evaluation is absolutely crucial for you to then consider. Move forward, please.
So could I take
And
a
Abhinav,
second
please
to
prompt me when you
run a
want to actually
poll?
run. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
sure. Let me just do that. Yeah, attendees, please, I'm just running a poll. If you could just take a few seconds to answer these. Sorry, just bear with me. There's some bit of lag from my end. I hope the poll is visible on your screen now.
Yes, Abhinav.
Yeah. I request all persons, all attendees to please fill up this short questionnaire.
And if you have any questions, during the session, please feel free to use the chat window to write your questions. We'd be very happy to respond.
Okay, I'll quickly move on to the next question in this poll. Yeah, urging please to kind of just fill the short question, short poll. Okay, we'll take last 5 seconds and then close this poll. Okay, I'll quickly share results of this poll for everybody to see. I hope you can see this. Right, so about 47% of you are using SAP S4 HANA, and about 38% of you are using SAP ECC, and again, 15%, using in source to pay. So as it indicates, about 28% of you are exploring S2P solutions for the first time. 38% you don't have any immediate plans, and 25% are using a solution and might renew also. So yeah, thank you for your responses. Yeah. Just
Sure.
share my screen. Yeah, I hope screen is visible. I'll just move on to the next one.
Yes, please move forward. We've covered this. Just move forward, please.
Yeah, no, there's some lag. So just
Okay, so what are the five questions really that we think is extremely important before you choose a source to pay? The first question, what is the time to value? How soon can I derive the break even and real ROI from the solution? What is the overall TCO? Now, I know that, typically, yeah, typically companies really put together a cost proposition, which is almost a la carte. There is a cost of license, there is a cost of implementation, there's a cost of maintenance. Then there's the overall, I mean, depending on the license cost, or year-on-year subscription, and the cost associated with that. So with respect to the TCO, I'm sure you will have your numbers, but the question really is, when is the break even going to happen and what's the real ROI from the solution? If there is any proof point on that coming in from any previous implementations, that would be the ideal thing to do. Um, does it support local compliance out of box and dynamic? Or do we need a team to localize post go during the implementation? So how does this really work from a compliance perspective? How is it going to work? What kind of customizations are required? And if there are changes in ongoing compliance requirement, how is the solution going to handle that? Are we going to continuously need incremental customizations based on changes in local compliance requirements? If yes, what is the likely cost? How complex is it going to be? Do you have reliance on the partner ecosystem? How is it going to then reflect on the product AMC? And will the OEM still support it? Should that change happen and that customization is built by the partner? What's the implication on product support? What are the proof points for supplier adoption? Can non-tech savvy vendors really log in effortlessly? Um, what has been the average cycle time to have at least 90% of active suppliers come on the solution? What is the cycle time? Is it 2 months, 3 months? What are the proof points on that? And if you could have in your customer reference conversations, you could probably check this out as well in a real life scenario, how this has really played out. Are ERP integration seamless, or will your IT team need external vendors to stitch it? Um, are these really validated by the ERP vendors? Are they, available on the store? Are they, are the integration seamless? What is the commitment to deliver value? So here is the difference between, just calling out the ROI versus actually playing it out. Is it just a routine implementation for them, for the product OEM, for the implementation partner? Is it just going to be a routine implementation of the features and functionalities? Or is there a deeper commitment to value realization? And I think this is something that needs to be assessed very seriously, because if it is just another sale that happens without understanding the function, the specific business process that you have, without understanding the specific nuances and the challenges that you may have in the way you conduct your business, in the way you conduct your process. um, if there is lack of understanding and this just turns out to be another routine implementation, there has to be absolutely skin in the game when it comes to taking this live. And therefore, what is a commitment to delivering value? I think these five questions are extremely crucial. Even as you do the evaluation, you might have a longer list of questions which you will obviously evaluate the various functionalities, features. But typically what we have seen is most of the vendors, including at Avali with Velocia solution, will come with all of the features and functionality. So it's never a challenge about whether a solution has a certain feature or functionality. Most of the vendors will have all of the features and functionality. But what really differentiates a successful implementation where we're able to deliver that return, what we have promised to the management when we look at this investment, versus another implementation where we are struggling still and the teams are still struggling, I think are these five crucial questions, which is extremely important to ask before you can make the decision. If there are any questions, you could just raise it using the chat window, but we will have at least 10 minutes reserved for, at least 5 minutes reserved for for Q&A. I promise you that. So I'll move forward quickly. I know we're running out of time. Can you move forward to the next one, please? Yes. So what is Velocious, right? Velocious is a full-featured sourcing and supplier experience solution. This is built for dynamic compliance. It is intentionally addressed, it's addressing the compliance-related challenge. Country-wise compliances are available out of the box. It's live for several markets. We're building it for other markets. So live for several markets, including India. Intuitive UI UX, it's 10x faster supplier adoption, and there are proof points on that. We did this implementation, for instance, for the one of the largest PSUs, oil and gas companies. It's a public sector in India, which is also in a remote location, and the supplier adoption for over 14,000 suppliers happened in sub 3 months. There's got seamless ERP integrations to including with SAP. It's agnostic to ERP, speeds up the go live time. It's optimized for indirect procurement. We are on the Gartner Market Guide in just 3 years since launch. We are ISO certified and security audited stack and available in the SAP store. So it's very much even you can go to the SAP store and look up the solution and you can seek interest in that. It's trusted by leaders worldwide. So we have sold it across both private sector, public sector, across multiple industries, including manufacturing, retail, pharma giants. Massive supplier onboarding. So it's proven scale across several tens of thousands of suppliers. It's ERP agnostic. It's got a global supplier self-service. So suppliers worldwide can actually seamlessly transact and manage procure to pay activities. It's extremely friendly, UI UX friendly, enables risk-free compliance, automates adherence to tax and regulatory requirements with built-in controls. And at the core, it focuses on supplier experience. So query resolution, ensuring seamless adoption even with non-tech savvy vendors. Moving forward, about Avali a bit, since probably you may not have heard about us, or I don't know how much you know about us, but we focus a lot on the cost optimization, margin improvement teams for large enterprises. We have executed transformations for over 300 plus large enterprises across Asia, Middle East, Africa, and parts of Europe. And in that process, delivered a 50 to 70% cycle time reduction and associated cost reductions for organizations. We have strong expertise across a range of technologies, which is listed here, the ECM, CLM. Mainly, if you look at the unstructured content lifecycle automation, we focus a lot in that space. So we are not a generic SAP ERP implementer we don't do much work on the structured data side, but on the unstructured content side, which is where you see about 80% of the enterprise business process, which have reliance on cost relating to the unstructured content lifecycle, we automate the entire process. And we have strong expertise around a range of technologies. For instance, with OpenText, we're the largest partner, and we have deep skills across various agentic AI as well as RPA solutions with MDM, CLM, BTP, and so on. Moving forward, several awards recognitions. You will have a copy of this slide deck right after this meeting. So we've been, awarded with various recognitions. We have AI, which is a part of the product roadmap, and across various use cases within the source to pay area. Templateless OCR is something that is being worked upon. It should be coming up for GA very soon. No template training, therefore, needed for invoice formats. AI supplier recommendations, which is essentially when you look at the RFP, RFI, RFX, and leading on to the next point, AI-powered RFP, RFQ creation, where one can actually do automated filling of all the line item questions, commercial rules, etc. The AI actually does it from the past data as well as from from publicly available information, and suggests and pre-populates relevant suppliers based on history and context. And post that, it also recommends as to who will be the shortlisted supplier for that particular RFQ based on multiple parameters. Agentic AI chatbot is again a part of the roadmap. So conversational AI assistant for sourcing and AP actions to execute also tasks like creating RFQs, tracking invoices, etc. And autonomous AP is something that's being worked upon as well. So, to look at automating the end-to-end invoice processing with minimal human touch. And on the topic of AP automation, I think another huge differentiators with respect to simulate entries, which is already available out of the box when it comes to in posting of those invoices. It can do automatic simulation of those entries, and do multiple checks and with respect to duplicates and so on out of the box. So irrespective of whether that particular vendor has a certain has a certain PAN card or Aadhaar card, irrespective of that, it is in a position to navigate and address multiple duplicate checks using a range of parameters. I'll move forward now. So that's, move forward, please. So really, in terms of summary, I think these 5 questions are extremely key to make the right investment decisions for your source to pay investment. What is the time to value? Does it support local compliance out of the box? Is it dynamic? What kind of proof points are there for supplier adoption? Are ERP integration seamless? And what is the commitment to deliver value? So with that, I will probably pause here. I'll take some questions. And I'd also like to bring in Piyush. Piyush, if you're there. Piyush actually is a product owner for Velocious.
Yeah, hi, good
So
evening,
let's take
everyone.
yeah. So Piyush,
Right.
could
Thank
you
you,
please
Sridhar.
take up
We're
the first
open.
couple of questions?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so Sriram, thank you very much for asking that question. The question is really when you say agentic AI, what are the features here in the software? As for example, the RFQ is a pre-formatted one. Piyush, could you please take that up?
Yeah, so there are two parts of it. One is the AI part where AI will draft the RFQ template based on various historical data and the knowledge source available, which is to ease out the entire RFP preparation process. When I say agentic AI will be responsible to perform various actions. So let's say if a user needs to quickly review all the evaluations which has come and take an action. So the agentic AI can trigger those based on the input and can take an action on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the
I hope
templateless
that answers
OCR,
your question.
yes.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the next question was for templateless OCR. Yes, so we already are in advanced stage of development. So it will be launched soon and we'll share those details with you maybe after this webinar.
We have another question. Where does Velocious stand in the MQ? So right now, Velocious is listed on the Gartner Market Guide for sourcing applications. This is a report dated January of 2025. And this solution was launched in late of 2021. So right now, it's not in the Gartner MQ, but you will soon see reports with respect to the subsequent years Gartner MQ coming up. You could actually unmute yourself and maybe ask questions as well. That's also fine. How does Velocious differentiate in supplier onboarding and do it 10x? I think that's a great question. So there are a couple of things, and maybe Piyush, you can maybe add on as well. But how Velocious does it is that firstly, it's got out of the box. Of course, it's got the entire form, etc., that is available for to be filled in dynamically. If say, for example, it's got pre-integrations with the GSPs. Okay, so all the validations happens out of the box, which say for your GST, PAN, VAT, tax, bank account details, all of that validation happens automatically. So that doesn't need to be done manually. It's done by the application automatically. If there are any gaps found in that, then it's going to raise that alert immediately to the supplier rather than for somebody to do it offline. Additionally, that any kind of duplicate checks happen online as a vendor is getting onboarded to ensure that that master is not existing already in the system. So thereby your data quality is absolutely maintained in sanctity. Any other points on that, Piyush, that the team should know about?
So one thing very important here is that the entire UI is a responsive UI. So when any user uses it, any supplier, be it normal vendor, farmer, or employee is a vendor, whoever we onboard, for them the UI will be very responsive. The first thing. Second thing is most of the data will be fetched via all these tie-ups that we have with the governments. portal. So if a user, let's say, put a GST number, no need to fill all those fields. Otherwise, user has a lot of struggle to fill all those information. So when we say 10x means the entire process of filling the form will be easy because the data will be pre-populated. User just have to review it, fill additional information, submit the request. So that way it will entirely speed up the entire process. Even from a approval process standpoint, the approvers will be able to verify those data right on the window itself and immediately take an approval, and automatically the vendor codes can created in the ERP. So the entire process till the ERP vendor code creation is automated, and that's why it does, 10x. Otherwise, it has to take all these manual activities, and it has to be manually created in the ERP after that. Yeah. Any other further questions?
Okay, so please feel free to share your questions, unmute also, and we can unmute you and you can have your questions asked. In the meanwhile, I'll just reiterate, for those of you who are here still, of course, we'll send out the summary report, we'll send out a request for free consulting, as well as, the free AP white paper. So we'll do that after this webinar. So please look forward to that.
Okay, there's one more question. The results can be linked to our email to send out the response to vendors, etc. as an add-in. Sorry, I'm not sure
Could you
I
please
understand.
clarify? Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, what results, Sriram, are you talking about? Maybe we can unmute. Could you please unmute Sriram, or can you unmute everyone, Abhinav, so that the questions we can find it easier?
Yeah. Yeah, Sriram can go ahead and unmute and ask that question. Sriram, go ahead. Can't hear you, Sriram. I mean, you're on mute, but can't hear you.
If the question is the sending the information on the email related to all the sourcing events, then yes, it can be sent to the emails. Okay. Yeah, so it can be done on the email.
Yeah.
Yes, email approvals are available. So if user does not need to log into the portal, let's say they want to do it, we give an approve reject buttons available on the emails, and that can trigger a link, and which can, immediately they can take an action on that. So yes, email approvals are available.
Another question, Piyush. How do you manage SAP indirect license cost?
Yeah, Shreya, I want to cover, or should I go ahead?
Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic question. So
Yes.
typically this is, if you need to post, the SAP indirect access is relevant for 9 document types of SAP, and that, policy information is publicly available. So if it attracts any of those 9 document types, and when the posting happens into SAP, then there is an indirect access license cost. But say we have to extract information from SAP, there is no indirect access license cost, access license on that. Only when the data or the document needs to be posted into, the data needs to be posted into SAP, that's the only time. So for example, in your AP invoice, when you're actually posting your invoices, that may attract probably your indirect access license. The alternative is to look at a bot to do that. Or if you have BTP license, we could leverage BTP as well, services to do that. But yes, I mean, if you have to post data into SAP, that's the challenge that is possible with any third-party solution for that matter. Minus of probably, SAP's own solution, any third-party solution will have that challenge. But there are workarounds that. And as a part of the process design, when we're doing the design, we can make sure that we minimize that risk to the extent possible, so that we are not met with that additional challenge. Or at the time of the scoping itself, even before you make that decision, it's better to be transparent around that, so that you have full visibility on any additional license cost. The objective of today's test session is actually to see how you can maximize ROI and minimize cost of investment. And in that, please be assured that whatever we do during the scoping exercise, we will be absolutely transparent with respect to any cost that you might have to incur for either SAP indirect license or any other associated cost.
Any other questions?
I think these are such amazing questions. I think these are absolutely, the questions which are so relevant for making a decision like this. We're looking forward to even one-to-one discussion or engagement, the half a day, engagement or the consulting engagement. Feel free to let us know if that's something that will add value to you. We have done like 300 plus engagements, transformation projects in the operational business process to reduce cost of running your operations. We believe that, enterprise resilience is absolutely crucial, especially since the pandemic. So, everybody is focused on resilience, which means that, how you can actually have predictability of that business process running. And in that context, source to pay, I think the kind of innovations that we have seen enterprises do in the last 4 years, at least I've not seen in my entire career. The entire thinking around transformations in sourcing and procurement and what are the possibilities with that, how one can reduce the cost of operations and deliver value to both internal organizations and importantly to customers are absolutely, it's fascinating to see. So look forward to that. The next question is if the system offers any quotation comparison facilities that allows us to evaluate multiple vendor quotes efficiently. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Additionally, does the system provide AI-based support such as insights or suggestions relating to raw material prices, market trends, or cost optimization? I think that's a great question. Absolutely, that is something that is being thought through at the moment for certain commodity types. So just as an example on this, when it comes to the steel industry, for instance, we have come up with an offering called Ecosphere, which is intended to be the go-to supplier information database for pre-validated suppliers for the steel industry. So Ecosphere is going to be the offering for that. So as we're speaking about raw material prices, market trends, or risk-free contracts, those are the areas that probably Ecosphere will handle industry by industry. This is a hugely complex subject for each industry to its own. So yes, absolutely. We are also thinking alongside the same direction. Thank you so much for asking that question. But your first question, if the system offers quotation comparison facilities and that allows us to evaluate multiple vendor quotes, yes, it already does. That functionality is available with us. Piyush, can you take this question? How can we link the item master with commodity? And can system suggest the options for opportunity to work on cost?
Yeah, so item master and commodity linkages, I understand that there'll be a functional rules which has been mapped in the system. Definitely, maybe we can have a separate call. I get to involve my functional SME on this, and we can have a discussion on this particular point here.
Right, please feel free to ask more questions. We have pinned a message in the chat. It's basically a form that lets you kind of fill in the details if you want to see a demo of Velocious. So anybody wants to see the Velocious demo, just fill that short form, and we'll be happy to connect with you and set up the demo for you. Right, any
Great.
more questions? Yeah, there's
Okay,
one more.
there's one more question. How can
Yeah.
processes which are not online be automated, such as creating comparison sheets? Comparison sheets at the time of RFQ? Is that what you mean, Puneet?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
just
So yeah, so this is actually online, this is an online process. So what happens with the sourcing module is that you will float RFQs to your suppliers. You receive responses via the portal. And from those responses, you actually do the comparison. So the process is actually um, online as such. Is that clarified, or does that make sense? Because the RFQ, is a module, yeah, that comes via the portal. Okay. Is the program process payment also on its due date automatically, or limit up to processing only? Oh no, okay. So all the payments that you do via your ERP it gets transmitted, including the UTR details also gets transmitted via the portal. So the supplier will have visibility as much as you have visibility on the payments. The supplier will also have visibility if an invoice has got paid, what has been the due date as per the contract and or the PO, and what is the actual paid date, and the UTR details, everything is visible on the portal. So just in summary, when it comes to the cost of this investment, Velocious comes at a cost which is consumable. When it comes to the returns, therefore, with respect to its UI, UX, out-of-box compliance, which is also dynamic with respect to the respective markets that we operate in, and its ability for ERP integrations, given that it's all out of the box, this presents Velocious as a compelling differentiator versus a very expensive global cloud-based solutions, where you will need to probably justify with respect to 100 plus customers who have the similar requirement before the product OEM can make changes onto its application. Like I mentioned, that all the features, functionalities are also available in Velocious as much as any other solution. But the difference really lies in our commitment to make this happen for customers, as several of our existing customers have already experienced. We are looking forward to engaging with you on on one-to-one conversations to make this more relevant for you, for your specific requirements, and our teams are going to be available for you to make that happen. So if there are any more questions, of course, we are always available. I mean, to you tie up with SI partners, absolutely we do, absolutely. So one of the things I think it's again a really great question. See, we realized that once the product was launched, it started getting adopted by PSUs, private sector. We have gone live on large SAP install accounts, including the Aditya Birla Group, some of the entities there. So the thing is, we realized that few things that we are heavily investing on, in full transparency I can share. One is the product engineering. Okay, so we realized that with some of the latest tools, technologies, the frameworks, especially with AI, we will be launching several of these new features and functionalities, really bringing the true innovation and the possibilities for the future of how the solution should actually look like. The second is go to market. Okay, so go to market also includes our sales, marketing outreach, the branding, and so on. In fact, we have launched this latest logo of Velocious that you see here. That is a logo that was launched last week, and that is a very, very well thought through logo. There is a story behind the logo, and we'll probably share that with you if you're interested to know that. But it's been extremely thought through in detail, the vision and mission of the solution. The third is the go to market, a partner ecosystem, and it's extremely important for us to kind of expand that. I'm personally privy to that from my previous experiences, both at SAP and Oracle, how important is a partner ecosystem in the whole scheme of things to minimize risk for the end customer. So that is something that there is a heavy investment going on as well. We will be soon announcing some of the partners who have signed up for the solution, and one of them is just about to kind of sign up. So yes, the traction is going to be on to kind of onboard partners as well onto the solution. Great. With that, I would like to personally thank you for joining the session. And I'm looking forward to engaging with each one of you. The team will connect out with you. We are happy to showcase a demo, do that half a day consulting that we promised for you. And We really look forward to staying connected on this topic, hearing your views and learning from your experiences. That is something we really love to do. I think many of these questions, I'm so happy that you asked, because it showcases that, your depth of understanding on this. We learn from our customers as much as we learn from everywhere. And this really helps us in our journey as well. So looking forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate your, time and investment today in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.